WKRG News 5 starts right now with breaking news.
A second person has died days after a house fire in Fairhope. 42-year-old Bradley Ellis was taken off life support around 3 o'clock this afternoon. He died soon after. He had 2 children, ages 8 and 16. Lee Cook also died from the fire last Thursday at the Resner Mobile Home Park. A witness tells News 5 she saw the home explode. Cook and Ellis that ran out of the home on fire. The cause of the blaze has not been announced. Hello, everyone. I'm Devin Walsh.
And I'm Peter Albrecht, and we have more breaking news just into the newsroom. Deputies say they were forced to shoot and kill a dog in Escambia County, Florida today. They were trying to arrest a suspect on Deerwood Road, and they say he released the dog to attack them. The suspect's name hasn't been released. No word why deputies were after him.
The Mobile County Sheriff's Office says a 26-year-old man was found dead today in the woods near Rudolph Gallish Road in Chunchula. Deputies say Cody Skelton had been operating an ATV near the area where his body was found by his family members. At this time, there's no foul play suspected. His cause of death has not been released. This could be the second death caused by an ATV in less than a week. Today, family and friends said goodbye to Anna Weaver. The 14-year-old was killed in a crash last Friday. Another teen was injured but should be okay.
A construction worker was killed today while on the job in Mobile. Clay Crutcher was working as part of a survey crew on a repaving project on Dauphin Island Parkway when he was hit by a car. This happened not far from Bishop State's campus on DIP. News 5's Katerina Lukatich has more.
Out trying to provide for his family, and this happens.
A tragic accident early this morning. A construction worker hit and killed. Witnesses say Clay Crutcher was hit by a car that was driving inside the cones that had been put up as barriers. He worked for John G. Walton, a construction company that was contracted by AlDOT to repave DIP. He was taken to the hospital but died of his injuries. Employees were sent home so they can mourn the loss of their friend and co-worker. Construction crews tell us this is why they plead with the public to slow down when they're in the road so that tragedies like this don't happen.
It's sad, you know, to know they're trying to improve our neighborhoods, you know, to make it better for us, but people just don't care, and it's really sad.
Today's accident, a tragic reminder of the dangers these construction workers face. In Mobile, Katerina Lukatich, WKRG News 5.
And this is the second time in 4 years that a worker for John G. Walton Construction has been killed. In February 2015, 25-year-old Marshall Walton, son of the company's president, was working on a road crew on Highway 45 in North Mobile County when he was struck and killed by a distracted driver. As a result, the legislature later passed the Marshall Walton Memorial Highway Safety Act, which makes vehicular manslaughter a felony.
News 5 is working to learn the identities of the people killed in yesterday's murder-suicide. We have called Mobile police several times today, but we have yet to get any answers. Yesterday, police found 3 people dead at a home on Carlin Drive.
In Baldwin County, a man charged with human trafficking now facing similar charges in federal court. Police say Tihendri Wulu Currens and a victim were traveling from Jacksonville, Florida to Mobile. On March 1st, the woman escaped at a gas station in Robertsdale. A clerk called police. The complaint in federal court charges Currens with sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion.
I'm just not no crazy maniac like type of guy, you know. I'm a good guy. I'm very successful. You see what I'm driving.
Well, it seems that Delwyn Knight has driven himself right back to jail on another road rage charge. This is his latest mugshot that's right there with him, nice smile on his face as he turned himself in to Daphne authorities earlier today. You might remember this video right here, which surfaced last month. It shows Knight apparently screaming at another driver in a fit of road rage. News 5's Debbie Williams has more on his latest arrest on the Baldwin County beat.
Delwyn Knight turned himself in again this morning on a 10th charge involving a road rage incident, and this time he won't be getting out of jail anytime soon.
I'm not a bad person.
Delwyn Knight is back behind bars in the Daphne City Jail after police say he almost ran another motorist off Highway 181, flipped her off, and cursed her. Turns out this latest victim is an employee of the police department.
I haven't arrested anyone. It's just road rage.
A judge revoked his bond on previous charges, so at least for now, he will have to stay in jail. It was just last month Knight turned himself in on 9 harassment and reckless endangerment charges after this video surfaced of what appears to be an enraged Knight
They see my car every day.
Going off on another female driver.
My costs more than yours. You think?
Now, according to police, he's done it again. Now facing 10 charges in connection with his alleged road rage incidents throughout the Eastern Shore. His court date is set for Tuesday. On the Baldwin County beat in Daphne, Debbie Williams, WKRG News 5.
Now, the suspect in this case, Delwyn Knight, had a lot to say the first time he was arrested. To see what he had to say moments before he turned himself in, find this story on the WKRG homepage.
Police have located an inmate who allegedly stole a sheriff's office truck from a work site yesterday. Herbert Adams was found in Flomaton today. He took off from a work detail just north of Flomaton. The truck later found in Jay, Florida. Adams was originally arrested on drug charges.
Well, some of us saw some sprinkles at time today, but more rain could be on the way.
All right, let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Alan Seals.
And there the rain is. It's far to our west across Louisiana and Texas. Not severe weather, but tomorrow it will be severe weather, mostly far to our north. Northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama will be on the tail end of that system as it moves toward the east, which means places like Greene County, Washington County, Clark County, you have a small risk for seeing a strong or maybe isolated severe storm. Not a big risk. Here's what we do see, though, as we move from this evening into early tomorrow morning. Just some light showers, some sprinkles, some drizzle will keep that humid southerly wind, so it's going to be a mild night. And once we get through the night, we'll look at rain increasing tomorrow. Not very much, though, mostly about a quarter to half an inch of rain tomorrow. There will be a few thunderstorms, and you know those will always increase the rain in some locations. Right now, downtown Mobile, cloudy, upper 60s, which is not bad, very humid, and we'll keep our temperatures in the evening basically in the 60s. And notice tonight, they don't fall. We start mild, we end up warm, and we end up wet. I'll show you the rest of the timing on the wet weather in just a few minutes.
Continuing coverage now of a plane crash in Illinois that took off from Brookley Field in Mobile. News 5 can confirm that 2 adults and a 4-year-old boy are expected to survive. Authorities say the small plane went down yesterday afternoon in Waterloo, Illinois. That's just south of St. Louis. The Monroe County Sheriff says all victims were conscious and talking when they were taken to the hospital. Authorities say a warning light came on, then oil spewed onto the windshield, leading to the crash.
Now, a day after that crash, a small plane is forced to make an emergency landing today at the Pensacola International Airport. The pilot wasn't hurt, but regardless, this was a scary situation. News 5's Brian Clerkley has the details.
Officials say the landing gear collapse happened at the south end of the airport, right behind me at around 11 a.m. this morning. While in flight, the pilot received an unsafe landing gear indicator and notified air traffic control. Airport emergency crews got into emergency standby position. The pilot did a flyby so air traffic control personnel could see if the gear appeared down. The main gear did not appear down. The pilot landed the aircraft on its belly. Now, officials say the pilot was the only passenger and he was not injured. In Pensacola, I'm Brian Clerkley, WKRG News 5.
The United States is the latest country to ground Boeing 737 MAX 8 jets following Sunday's deadly crash in Ethiopia. President Trump made the announcement this afternoon. 157 people died in the crash Sunday. It was the second deadly crash of the aircraft in the past few months. It's a fairly new model with just 350 in use worldwide. Southwest and American are the primary U.S. airlines flying this plane.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the Clemency Board are considering early prison release for a man known as White Boy Rick. 49-year-old Richard Wirsch Jr. is one of the youngest FBI informants ever. In the mid-1980s, at the age of 14, he helped bring down a major cocaine trafficking ring. He was eventually arrested for selling drugs himself. His current release date is in October of 2020. Actress Lori Loughlin has been taken into custody by the FBI in connection to a college admissions scheme. She's accused of paying $500,000 to get her 2 daughters labeled as recruits for the University of Southern California crew team. She and Academy Award winner Felicity Huffman are among 50 people charged in the case. Huffman is charged with felony conspiracy to commit mail fraud. She is already out of jail on a $25,000 bond, $250,000 bond. A Florida prep school administrator has been suspended from his job for his part in the scheme. Mark Riddell is accused of taking college admissions tests for students at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. The academy has one of the top prep athletic programs in the country. He is charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and money laundering.
Tonight, a veterans advocacy group is urging Congress to provide additional VA health benefits to veterans who may have been exposed to toxic chemicals. News 5's Washington correspondent Mark Meredith has the story.
He was a very proud veteran.
Sheila Kilpatrick's husband, Lonnie, died of cancer last year. She says his poor health stemmed from exposure to toxic chemicals like Agent Orange while he served in Guam in the 1970s.
We know this was due to the herbicides that were sprayed on Guam. We know that. We witnessed the spraying.
The Kilpatrick family says they face pushback from the VA over efforts to get additional health benefits. Two congressmen call that unacceptable. Florida Representative Gus Bilirakis.
4 decades is too darn long. We can't wait any longer.
Bilirakis and Guam's delegate say that's why they've introduced a new bill to expand health benefits for veterans who served in the Pacific Islands.
If it was toxic enough for us to discontinue their use since 1980, then it was creating hazards for our veterans and for our communities that we need to acknowledge.
In January, a federal judge ruled the VA must consider benefit claims from Navy veterans who may have been exposed to toxic chemicals while serving off the coast of Vietnam. Veteran advocates say that ruling allows them to focus on cases involving people who served in Guam. Kilpatrick says she expects the fight will take months, but remains optimistic.
No way, I'm giving up. I'll fight wherever we have to go.
A hearing on the bill has yet to be scheduled. In Washington, I'm Mark Meredith.